Are Brad Pitt's adventures in globe-trotting and zombie slaying as awesome as they sound? Find out on today's Variant Edition.
Hey everybody, welcome to Variant Edition. We're here in movies today talking about World War Z with Adam Lugabill from Comic Swap and John Secreto from Comic Swap. So World War Z starring Brad Pitt and a ton of other people. We're not going to go into crazy detail with it because they're all in the movie for like 2 minutes each.
That's true. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, directed by Mark Forster, director of Quantum of Solace, Finding Neverland, Stranger Than Fiction, Adam's favorite movie, and
Pretty close.
Monsters Ball. So, this movie is based on the novel by Max Brooks, who also wrote the Zombie Survivor Guide. That's what that book was called, right?
Zombie Survival Guide.
Zombie Survival Guide, yeah. So I read that. I have not read World War Z. Have you read World War Z, John?
I have not read World War Z.
But Adam has, right?
Yes.
So he can be our expert on that. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review. So we'll start with John. What are your general thoughts on the movie?
I thought it was pretty entertaining. I mean, very entertaining. Pretty intense. I thought that a lot of the action was set up very well by the other human drama. I thought that the payoff at the end of the movie was very good. Apparently there was some problems with the script that I didn't really, which I found out about afterwards, which I thought were pretty good. Not the problems were good, but the resolution was very good. I didn't really see the ending being a problem. Apparently that was something that some viewers and the studio apparently had a big problem with.
I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, they did some reshoots and stuff like that, which I thought the end of the movie came together very, very well. Obviously, they ended the movie in a way that would be, if they never went on and did another movie, that it would be satisfying, but they left open a ton of possibilities for more movies. I thought Brad Pitt was great. Seemed like a role that he was kind of perfect for. Very dreamy and intense, but problem solver.
And it is one that they have. There's goals for a franchise, right? They want to make 2 more movies. I think they've said.
I believe that's the plan. And after the success of the first weekend around the world, they pretty much greenlighted the second movie right away. So.
Right. Yeah. So what did you think, Adam?
I liked it. I have a hard time when I've read a book, and especially a book that I liked so much, separating what I liked so much about the book from the movie. The movie I thought was good, and the parts of it that I liked a lot, but it was so different from the book, it was very difficult to think of it as a World War Z movie.
Right, so the movie focuses on one character globe-trotting around, trying to find the root of the zombie invasion, like the patient zero, basically, because they think that they can find a cure or some kind of answers as to how to fight the zombies from that.
Right.
Whereas the book's different, right? There's one narrator, but he's talking to different people and getting different perspectives on the whole invasion.
Right. The book is sort of like investigative journalism after people have turned the tide against the zombie plague or whatever you want to call it. And is more about him talking to different people who were essential in saving the human race.
Mm-hmm. So totally different.
Yeah, but in the sense that it's like a globe-trotting novel about zombies, there were some similarities. And I thought that even though it was quite different, that was really an interesting film.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Brad Pitt character one of the characters in the book, or is he a brand new character?
It's been a while since I read the book. I don't really remember a character like him being crucial to the novel, but I'm made to understand that he was in the book.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Yeah.
We'll put it up or something.
In post. I liked it. It was very uneven, I thought. I thought parts of it were really exciting and then parts of it were really slow. And that's okay. That's what zombie movies are like. But I found it very, very strange that it seemed to me that the zombies behaved very differently from one part of the film to the others. But I'll talk about that later, if you want.
Sure.
Okay, so like I want to.
No,
it's kind of a spoiler, but like in the beginning of the movie, they're like, okay, Brad Pitt times out. It takes 12 seconds after someone gets bit. And then later on in the movie, they're like, oh, it took him 10 minutes to turn into a zombie.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah, it was really, really confusing. And
it almost seems like they introduced it to make a point about the evolution of the zombie, but they never brought up why that was like a thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Especially because like the intensity of the problem exists because it happens so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like by the time he leaves America and goes on to this thing, it's like, oh well, don't worry about it because it could happen within 10 minutes. And like the whole thing with the soldier losing her arm, it's like he felt like he had to do it right away, but like 10 minutes before that, and like when he was in a different country, they told him like they tied the guy down, and like so it was like so much of the like impetus to make things happen were contradictory to each other. which I didn't really care about because the zombies were awesome.
Yeah.
I also thought that it was a strange choice that they wanted to make the zombies fast moving, like 28 Days Later, like a lot of zombie movies since 28 Days Later have chosen to do. But then the last act of the film, I don't think this is a spoiler, the whole last act of the film is sort of based around slow moving zombies. Even though they are eventually fast, like the whole concept of it is these are these slow, sort of like waiting around zombies, because they wanted the intensity of that, but also the fast stuff too. It was like they wanted everying.
They really played up the Dorman thing at the end, where up to that point it wasn't something like that they even tried to play up. So much so that the sound thing was more important, like the fact that the sound makes them move quicker, like, so, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was like all of those kind of specifics of how the zombies worked were a little bit uneven.
And I mean, they did talk about that once there was no one left to attack, the zombies just became dormant.
Right.
And so the reason they were all moving so fast at the beginning is because they were in these big cities and there were so many targets. So I didn't have a giant problem with that, actually.
No, I don't really have a problem with it either. I just think it's interesting when you kind of like look at this, like you're watching the movie and you're like, oh, this is awesome, and like you get to the end of the movie, and you're like, okay, you know, you either like it or you don't. But then when you take a step back and you like look at those things, it's like you can either, you know, it's like the Prometheus thing. You can watch Prometheus and like enjoy all the pretty pictures, and then at the end you kind of go, whoa, my God, none of
that made any sense.
World War Z doesn't have those kind of things to that, you know, the level, but you know.
Right. So you liked it overall? You just didn't like it as much as the book?
I didn't love it, and I would have preferred an adaptation of the book rather than a fresh film with Brad Pitt in it.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
I don't think that it's not like my favorite movie this summer or anything like that, but I had a lot of fun with it. I like the globetrotting aspect of it, like going somewhere and getting one clue, and then it was a little bit of investigative stuff.
Yeah.
Probably, I am sure that it wasn't as much as the book, but you know, you go to one country and you get a clue, and then they have to chase that lead down and like escape out of the country. I thought that stuff was all really fun. The fast-moving zombies thing I liked. It didn't really bother me that much. The one thing that I had kind of a problem with, and this can kind of be a spoiler section, I guess, is that at the end of the movie, I expected there to be a bigger climax, kind of because so much of the movie was built on these like grand big city like attacks and things like that, and like swarms and swarms of zombies everywhere. And they build all that up, and at the end of the movie, the climax is, like you said, more of a traditional, like, trying to sneak through this hospital where
like
there's...
a video game.
Like
you had to do these certain things to get to this point, and then once you do those things, everything else opens up and the problem is solved.
I really fully expected there to be another scene after the hospital scene when they figure out how to get through it all, and then the movie just ends.
Right.
And I guess it was a long enough movie. I'm not saying that it needed to be longer, but I was surprised that was what they chose to end the movie on. Was that part of the problem that people have with it?
See, that's the kind of the thing, is that I wonder if those kind of script problems were why they decided to do it in a different way. Like maybe they, I don't know. I mean, like I obviously don't know the specifics of how the script stuff happened, but I know that the things that I read said that they went back and did reshoots, and that they wanted a more satisfying ending, and maybe they wanted it more to be like maybe more of an open-ended thing. Maybe they didn't want to have like this, you know, giant battle, end of story kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, it definitely felt a little anticlimactic. Not, I mean, it's satisfying, but it's not like the rest of the movie, especially a lot of like the whole thing in Jerusalem, where it's like, I mean, things just completely spiral out of control, and it's like very epic, and like he just gets out, and like that does not happen at the end of this movie.
Right.
Like, it's,
and it's not that there weren't enough big like action set pieces. Like the plane was awesome, and Jerusalem was awesome. Yeah. The riding the bikes in the rain was really, really intense and cool. Yeah. So I don't know. I like the movie a lot. I would definitely recommend it. Yeah. I thought that whenever the trailers first came out for this movie, however long ago that was, I remember being really turned off by I didn't think the CGI looked very good, like the big swarms of zombies climbing up walls and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that just looks kind of ridiculous. And then I thought in practice, actually, it looked great in the movie. Did anybody have problems with the aesthetic of it or the style of it?
I mean, it part of my problem with World War Z as a film is that it's not really a zombie movie, even though they're zombies, just because they behave in a totally different way. They're more like ants. And that's awesome. It's a really cool idea, but they don't really behave like zombies in any traditional sense. So visually, I thought it looked awesome. My only problem with that is just, you know, I love zombies so much, I kind of want to see a zombie movie when they promise you zombies.
Did they talk in the book about how the zombies work? Is it different than, like, did they just make an aesthetic choice to make the movie seem or look a certain way? Like, or...
Yeah.
So that's like...
They're
that's
utterly different.
Right, so that's pretty interesting that they would kind of make this choice to be like, these are not the zombies. You know, it's like some kind of ruse. These are not the zombies you think they are.
Right. Well, we talked about how in the book, the reason that they get to the top of walls isn't because they climb each other, but because there's just so many dead bodies piling up, right?
Yeah.
That eventually a mountain is built. They could just climb the other dead
Right.
zombies to get there.
So it's not like the orcs in Lord of the Rings, really.
Correct. Yeah, they're not going and throwing up ladders.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So World War Z, I think that we would all definitely recommend it. Did you see it in 3D?
No.
Okay, so none of us saw it in 3D,
Yeah.
so we're not gonna have.
I'm never gonna answer
We're
yes.
not gonna have any opinion about that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I think that it's a pretty awesome summer movie, and
Yeah.
it has some really good scares in it.
Sure.
I freaked out a couple times.
Well,
I thought it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Denny.
That's a
That's
Denny
me.
freak out, though. It's not like a real freak out.
All right. All right. Cool. We'll see you next time.
Did he direct Stranger Than Fiction?
Yep.
Yeah.
He directed
He
all
did.
4 of those movies.
Monsters Ball?
Yep.
Who hasn't jerked off to that movie? That's my question.
Wow.
Tell me what you think.
Oh, that's pretty good actually.
It's gonna come up.
Whoa. A little high, maybe. A little low. Oh yeah.
Big shot.
Dick shot. Give me your dick shot.
I like that it says fluid head.
You would like that, you
Fluid head.
creeper. We're always recording. Always be selling. Always be recording.
Wow. Do you want to keep trying?
Never
Or can
surrender.
you?
We have to go
on
back.
I'm not going back.
Hit me with your butt shot.
And just can you let us know, like, just hold up hand at like 2 minutes?
Don't be looking at it. You're the cameraman.
Guys,
You're the camera dude.
I think I'm going bald.
You're the
guys.
camera face.
You want to talk
Yeah,
about
you've
that?
been going bald for a while. Deal with it.
You don't have to
You're an old
think
man.
about it. You're not that old. You're pretty young. Your life's just starting.
Maybe we could have a
I'm
cool.
excited for you.
We could have a cool intro where we like pan down. Look at it. Look how good it looks. Here we go. You ready? Ready for this?
I'm ready. What? All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
World War Z.
Daddy's standard opening. Happens every single time.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
More at Denny's cock.
Get as much cock in the shot as you can.
Cock shots. It's like all Denny likes in movies.
It's fun.
Like a reality show.
Cock
Cock
shots.
shot. Okay.
Does it look better?
Does it look better?
Does it
look better?
It
does
is.
look better.
All right.